Peace, y'all. Just wanted to cut in for a real quick announcement. If you're here, chances are you know this week's guest on the pod is Ovrkast, and both of us wanted to invite you to the listening party for his latest project, KAST GOT Wings. If you're in the New York area on Thursday, October 17th, pull up to 3XL Studios at 1329 Willoughby Avenue in Brooklyn to hear the project and stick around for a brief interview and Q&A hosted by me. Well, the RSVP link is in the episode description and across all my socials, and there aren't many spots available, so don't sleep. This is really not one to miss, I promise. But for now, thank y'all for being here as always. Welcome to all the newcomers, and I hope you fuck with it. Before we get started, I felt compelled to remind everyone to stay safe and stay abreast of all the atrocities happening around the world. The people of Palestine, Tigray, Congo, Sudan, Haiti, and countless other territories are currently fighting for their rights and their lives. And if you're choosing to take action, please take every precaution you can. Stay hydrated, stay in groups, cover your face, and please, more than anything, don't lose hope. I've been leaving links to organizations and resources at the bottom of every episode description for a good minute, so please go check those out for places to donate and to find ways to take action today. We're not free until all oppressed people in the States and abroad are free. Much love, stay strong, and stay dangerous. What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is California rapper-producer Ovrkast. We spoke about freestyling on Sway in the Morning, Blink Twice, Shark Tale, Fruitvale Station and the work of Ryan Coogler, the beauty of Oakland slang, how his discography is its own anthology series, the diversity of California rap, and the creative process behind his latest project, KAST GOT Wings, produced in tandem with Texas producer Cardo Got Wings. Come fuck with us. No, you're good. Fuck it. We're just gonna start. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Real Notes.
What's good?
Yeah, nah, man. Fucking, we out here. It's a beautiful, crisp fucking October afternoon. I got a Red Bull, which I don't drink very often. I'm feeling turnt. Everything's cool. He's got weed, bro. We yeah, like y'all can't hear it, but we were just talking about games for like 10 minutes, and we're all and you know we're kind of geeked off the P5. But my name's Dylan Green, CineMasai. Got a lot of names, do a lot of shit, outside, inside, all sides, and yeah. So like the guy we got here today is so first and foremost, you're one of a handful of people who have been like requesting to come on for some years.
Fire.
Which makes sense to me, but like I can't think of many other like it's crazy to think that we're at the point now where we have people like requesting like, oh, so and so needs to come on, and like yeah. I've been seeing your name pop up in comments and people asking me for like at least the last like I want to say like 2-ish years, and
yeah,
I mean like
I'm glad we're here.
Yeah, bro, it's been a whole journey, and just like watching like your growth since all of them, but like we got Cali rapper producer, Bay Area's finest, fucking Sway. You're a Sway alum, bro. Like you're officially a Sway alum. We got Ovrkast in the fucking building, yo. Like this is
clap,
yeah,
clap, yeah, all that stuff.
I don't do sound effects.
You don't got
here.
sound, but
nah.
Yo, it was so funny being on Sway hearing that shit. Cause I was like, yo, this is so like. I feel like I'm in a Wii game. You know how they do this?
Yeah, the Wii Sports.
Woo! That's how I felt.
Yeah, you just have 6 people outside, just like jump up, like
yeah. Like, no, I literally felt like that. It was crazy.
Did you watch him hit the buttons
and shit?
Nah,
there was a DJ behind him who was hitting every fucking thing. That shit was hilarious.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that feels like a.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. No, you go.
I was saying that experience was so like. Not real, bro. Like nothing. It was real, but it was super unreal. Like it was like not in a bad way, but in like a like what is it? Like what's happening? Like I was just kind of like, truly, bro. Like you get thrown into like a abyss. Like it's just kind of like you can't expect anything, bro. You don't. It's like one of those moments where like you have to kind of just go. It's like really like improv at its finest, but you have to be on your fucking toes, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like between like I feel like that and Funk Flex is just like them two
Yeah.
just they just exist in their own pocket. Like it's just like not the real
In
world,
Flex
not
we trust.
like like not, and like you said, not in a bad way. It's just like those
Yeah.
are like like you go on Sway, you go on Sway, you do things Sway's way. You go on Flex, you
Yeah.
do things Flex's way. Like that's just how it
Yeah.
works, you know? Like
Yeah, it's real. I feel like I'm definitely the cool thing about it. I've been there, and now I understand how that shit works. So I'm like, oh, I'm about to go back, and I'm gonna just fuck this shit up again. Like I realized like the radio shit is really it broke the wall. I was like, oh, this is what I've done this before. Like I didn't realize I had been in that situation before, but like I
right.
thought it was a whole different, yeah,
How
situation.
what other radio shit have you done?
Yeah, I used to have my own little podcast like way back in the day.
Oh, of course you. Yeah, no, I knew that.
Yeah,
That's
like
that's that's
way
that's
back in the day, I had a
wow.
podcast, and like I've done just interviews before, but like I just thought it was gonna be something different. But now I'm like, nigga, I get it. Like you can kind of go in there and like just do your thing. That's what those things are there for.
Yeah, nah, and yeah, like they're there to like let you do your thing. Like nobody's trying. I mean, like Sway might be trying to trip you up a little bit with the whole
Oh, they
five
was
fingers of
trying,
death
bro.
bullshit. Like like
They was trying to play. I ain't gonna lie. It was real. I love Sway, but it was real like your uncles and brothers come in and they just try to fuck with you like
oh yeah,
it was very much that, and I'm like, yo, like y'all don't know it. I've been here before.
this is not my first rodeo, bro. Don't try to
Yeah.
don't try to throw me. But
No, as soon as he cut the hyena, he said, "We finna go out with the hyenas," and he cut the fucking hyena sound. I see, y'all niggas trying to be scared. That nigga said, "Yeah, you better be scared." I said, "Nigga, I'm not scared." Y'all niggas trying to make
stare
me
him
scared, bro.
stare him right in his face and just rattle off a quick 32 type shit. Like
Yo, yeah, I should have
um
just did that. Go ahead.
yeah, next time, bro. Next time. But so this is coming from the past. Y'all are gonna hear this in like a week from the time we record it. KAST Got Wings is out now. It's
It
everywhere.
is.
Go listen
Go
to
bump
it.
it.
It's fucking great. Like joints for the bippers and for everybody, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
you heard it? You heard the whole process?
yeah, I heard it
Oh,
yesterday.
fire. Oh, fire. Okay, cool. You got the whole rundown.
Oh,
All right, that's tight.
oh yeah, no, we're about to like talk. But
Yeah.
like even before that, like KAST, like thank you, bro. Like thank you for being here. This
Thank
means
you,
the
man.
fucking world.
Thank you.
Like it's like we've we've been around each other a lot the
I
last
know,
like month
bro.
and a half. So
I've been just seeing you everywhere. I'm like, oh, this nigga here. Yeah, let's go.
yeah,
I
not
love I love going somewhere where like it's a lot of people and seeing somebody I know for real. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm like, all right, cool.
yeah, no, I felt the same. Yeah, no, because I pulled up on y'all in Boston and you were just like, oh shit, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm covering this shit, bro.
Yeah, nah, yo, I really just kept seeing you. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. For anybody listening, I covered that for a reason that I can't talk. Or I don't. Is this gonna be out by the time? No, it'll be
I
a
don't think
surprise.
so.
Y'all,
Yeah,
y'all will see. Y'all will see. But
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, like it's like I've been following your career for I don't even know how long, and just like to get to
Thanks,
finally
man.
sit down and like talk about the shit. I'm like very excited about it. So thank you for being here. Honestly,
Thank you.
come on, bro. So yeah, first question I ask everybody who comes on here: what's the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Oh man, bro. It's a dark movie, but it's called Blink Twice. I don't know
Mm,
if you watched that shit.
I did. Let's talk
Bro,
about it.
that shit. Number one, okay, like I get it, like new age, like how movies are made nowadays. It's very much about like stimulating you.
Yeah,
You're supposed to feel, you're supposed to like visually be stimulated, and everything is like really like a dream, and like it's like doesn't feel real, which is cool. That's like the very A24 route, which I fuck with. I'm like, I that's my favorite kind of shit. But I feel like in this context of this movie and this subject, it just didn't. It was like oil and water. Like it just didn't. It didn't hit. Like the message did not hit how it. Like
yeah,
it was very much like a lot of beating around the bush, making you afraid, and like 5 minutes of like horror, and then like them kind of like damage controlling what they just showed you. it's like, okay, like I like everything makes sense, but it's like if you watch that movie, you're gonna leave the movie like feeling unsatisfied. Which I get, you're not supposed to feel satisfied with that like type of reality, but like they could have at least like tied some. They could have at least left the audience with something to be like, okay, like
Yeah.
like I'm gonna at least take this lesson from this thing. Am I still here?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of what like how I felt about it, but I want to know how you feel.
So yeah, I mean, like I saw it, it had to have been like maybe like almost a month ago at this point. I felt
Yeah,
more or less the same way. So like to me, the thing that really stuck out, like yeah, like stimulating is a great word. Like
yeah,
the way it was shot and edited, like I had a great time watching it just from like a purely visual standpoint. Like I love the way it was
yeah,
edited. I love like all
yeah.
that. I think like as a because I mean like I know it's a Zoe Kravitz movie. It's her first movie she's ever
Uh-huh.
directed. And
Yeah,
like
props to her. This is for her first movie, incredible.
yeah, you know, like yeah, just like stylistically, like it
Yeah,
looked crazy. It was like cool to watch, but like everything that the movie was like you
pacing was
said,
great too.
like what happened?
Pacing was great too. Like it kind of,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, just like like considering what the movie wants to be about, like for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's well, it was originally supposed to be called Pussy Island,
oh
and
my
they were
God, that makes way more sense, bro. But go good.
yes, yeah, so like they were originally supposed to call it Pussy Island, and it's like some Jeffrey Epstein shit. That's what's going on in the movie.
Yeah,
That's or like that's the intent, but like the message, yeah, like the message just didn't land the way that I think it needed to in order for it to like be super duper effective. Like I mean, like great message. There's there's a lot to consider and a lot to unpack, and I don't think the movie unpacked it the way it needed to unpack it. And it kind of
yeah.
and it
It
was
was
yeah, like
very like it was very
yeah,
like cheeky, like very like not real. Like yeah, like if you lead someone to that path and you show them what it is, I feel like your responsibility as a filmmaker or like speaker on that topic is to give somebody a real understanding of like why, when, and what is happening, and not just it be like, yeah, this is something that happens sometimes. It's kind of crazy, right? But
right.
in the end, like everything's okay, right? It's like yeah, but like y'all kind of didn't like you know, they could have went way deeper into just like who the Nick who he was and why he was like that and the girl
Yeah.
how to it was they leaned so much on this like murder mystery aspect that it was like all right bro like I get it but like I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like they really should have taken it all the way. They just didn't take it to the hole, and I wanted
Nah,
them to take it to the hole,
they
and they
missed it.
just
They were
didn't.
too scared to. I think they were just too afraid to. Which is
Yeah,
like I get it, but it's like why you make a movie about some shit if you can't even like fully you know get
right.
behind what the what you're saying.
And I don't want this to sound too disrespectful, but you play it on mute and just watch it for what it is, and just
Mm-hmm.
like watch it happen. Like it's really cool to just
Mm-hmm.
watch happen.
He
But
said put it
like,
on mute.
see, I'm not trying to be catty, bro. Like I just mean like just like as
No,
a
I thought of
purely
that Drake
visual.
line. He said that shit sound good on mute.
Yeah, yeah.
No, if you watch that shit on mute, it definitely like it's gas. But like
Like have that
once,
playing in the background while you're doing something, and like
yeah.
that'd be cool. Yeah,
If I think if that movie kind of like it did a really good job of suspense, I will say like it had me on the edge of my motherfucking seat. But it was like it was just so like yeah, that's it. It didn't complete with the mission. They didn't take it to the end.
yeah. That's really it. Like like I'll be interested to see like what Zoe Kravitz does for like her next or whatever, or like whatever
Yeah.
she winds up doing next.
Uh-huh.
But like like I could and like I could and like you could tell one more thing before we move on. You could
Hmm.
tell that she has like like so much of the movie is about like class disparity
Hmm.
and like obviously there's like a lot of race in there too and like
Hmm.
you could tell the way that she was trying to tell this story that
Hmm.
she's Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz's kid, bro. Like you
Yeah.
could just like tell the way that like she was writing about it. It's like, oh, you grew up the kid of two of the most famous black people on planet Earth. Like
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It
But
was very everything was very much like if you know, you know, like shit.
yeah,
It was just like I don't know a lot of this stuff, but I can tell what's happening.
right.
Like yeah,
Like there's like I'm gonna be interested to see what she makes next.
yeah, me too,
That's yeah,
me
that's
too.
all I got for now.
Yeah.
But let's take it all the way back with you, Silas. What's the first movie experience you can remember having? It could be at the theater, it could be
Oh
it could
shit.
be at your cousin's
Low
house.
key, I think it was watching. I know I watched movies before this shit. Either it was Cheaper by the Dozen, or it was Shark Tale. One of
Wow,
those two. I think it might have been Cheaper by the Dozen, but I vividly remember Shark Tale. Like, I remember
tell
watching
me.
that shit, and like I just fucked with it. It was so raw. Like something, I feel like it was something different about like those older movies, only because like I feel like things back in the day were warmer, like visually and like you know, wise. So like I feel like back then, like watching that on that big screen and like that at the time that was a cutting edge like CGI. Like that was really like really cool to see. You know, it was past
That yeah,
Toy
that was
Story.
definitely the best you could do. Yeah.
Yeah, they like went crazy with it, and it's just like I felt like I was in them. You know, like it's underwater. Like you watch it, and you feel like you're in the fucking movie. I know now it probably don't hold up the same, but like back then as a kid, it was just so raw to just see that. Also, Will Smith was in it. And Will Smith is like, you
Yeah.
know,
Like
yeah,
yeah, no.
such a good
Yeah,
actor. Go
no.
ahead.
Yeah, no, that was just back when he was like, like before, I mean, like, there's been a lot, like he's been through a lot the last 2-3 years, but that was like at
Yeah,
that point where
uh-huh,
he was just like unstoppable, and you see him in a
yeah.
movie, you just go watch it,
You go watch that shit, and it was good. He delivered.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and, and like you go back and look at that cast, it's like it's Will Smith. I think it's Renee Zellweger, Angelina
crazy,
Jolie, fucking Martin
crazy.
Scorsese's in the movie.
Oh,
Like what?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was a good movie, bro. That's a classic. Shark Tale is a
like
classic.
like I remember being I forget how old I was when it came out, but I remember thinking like, why is Martin Scorsese in this movie? Like, why did they get him to
Right?
play this like he's
He
like a
probably
puffer
fucked
fish
with
or
it. He
some
probably
shit.
was like, you know what, it's kind of raw. I'm kind
and,
of fucking with Shark Tale.
and he wasn't wrong. So like because like it's like
Yeah.
him and like Jack Black's in it, like fucking De
Oh
Niro's
yeah.
in it. Like
Oh, they were
they
going
just
crazy with that one.
they pulled an all-star cast together. They had Ziggy Marley covering Bob Marley songs on the
Yeah,
soundtrack.
he did.
That shit was
Come on
crazy.
now. The movie was so atmospheric and good. Also, it's like a musical, but it's like not. Like it's good
Yeah.
as fuck. Yeah. Yo,
And there were and
my
there
favorite scene as a kid was that motherfucking the whale wash. That was so raw to me, bro.
mm,
That was so clean.
yeah, that shit was tight. It was because that was that version of Car Wash they play in that scene with I think it's Missy and who's the other lady on the song? It's not is it Gwen
I
Stefani and
forget.
Missy? I can't
I
remember.
forget. It's like a newer version.
Yeah, like that was like there was a period of time where I liked that version more than I liked the original version of Car Wash. But I was a kid,
Yeah.
like
That's also
not
like I feel like
like,
movies back then did a really good job of having like if you went with your kids, there was shit for the adults and there was shit for the kids. So y'all were
yeah.
both like, like when Car Wash came on, my mom was like, "What came out?" I'm like, "Huh?" Like, like what? She dancing and shit. I'm like, you know this. It just came out.
Yeah, that shit is funny. Yeah, no, that was like because that was like peak DreamWorks and like Pixar era where they just kind of,
Yeah.
like they had kind of perfected that formula of like family movies for everybody and like
Hmm.
like it's a little naughty for the adults with like older references and like
Yeah.
it's
A
got
little
humor for
bit.
the kids. Like it
Yeah.
was like it was
Uh-huh.
they were still kind of perfecting that shit.
Uh-huh.
And that made it fun. I still have my DVD copy of Shark Tale
Oh,
somewhere in
you
my
lit.
crib.
You lit.
Like
Classic.
I've been meaning to run it up for real. I've been thinking about it for the last like couple months. Like I want to watch Shark Tale again.
Yo, you
So
got to. It's a good movie.
yeah, no, it might be that time. It might be that time. So like as you get older and you start to like refine your palate and develop your taste a little more. I like to think of this as like a capital M movie. Like, what was the first movie you remember seeing that really like connected with you in like an artistic or emotional or spiritual sense? Like,
Man, first movie I connected with, like ever.
It doesn't have to be ever, just like the first thing you could remember, like something that really hit you on some like this is more than just like 90 minutes of entertainment type shit.
Man, probably the first movie I seen like that I can remember is Oscar Grant movie.
Oh
That
wow.
movie's super good. Yeah, Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, yeah.
Yeah, that was a movie I saw because it was shot so like, and I just remember like I don't think I felt that much emotion in like one scene ever. It was the scene where man, I mean, most people talking about it where he passes away, and then like right after he passes away, there's like a silent clip of him and his daughter. Bro, I was like, fuck. I was like, y'all, I've never seen that done ever. It was so good, and I was like, damn, like fuck, this movie good as fuck. Like it was so like, But I think outside of that one, I think The French Dispatch. That movie
Oh.
is so fucking gas. Like you get three movies in one, which is tight
Mm-hmm.
as fuck. And then it's like it just keeps evolving. Like it just keeps like there's never a moment where you're like, oh, what's about to happen? It's so like I love his humor. His humor is just so like dry and so like he's kind of like it don't gotta be funny because it looks so good, which is cool. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not coming to fucking cry laughing. I'm coming to like see how cool this shit is. And so
Yeah.
like whenever the humor did hit, it was like really funny because it was like damn, like you know what, like that joke was so bad, but like the cast is so in this shit right now. Like they're so serious about these roles that are so goofy that it makes it like really like good to watch. But then like just the stories, bro. Like there's so many. I'm a visual nigga, so there's so many shots that is so just simple and cool, and like the way the story progresses and how it kind of just like it doesn't. I just love it.
Man, so I wanna go in order because I haven't thought about Fruitvale Station in a good. It's been a
Yeah,
grip. Like I think I only saw it the one time I saw it when it first came out because like
yeah,
I just don't like. It takes a lot for a movie to have me be like I don't need to watch this ever. Like I love it, but I never need to watch it again. But like
yeah,
that was one of those for me. Like like
yeah,
I'll never forget the first time I saw the scene of him on the train, like the night
yeah,
he gets shot, and like
yeah.
and like
Also,
I'm sure,
that
yeah,
shit
yeah.
was so beautifully like portrayed. The scene
Mm-hmm.
because yo, I don't know if niggas like understand like how the Bay Area culture is. Like,
Right, because that's your shit. So like, of course, it
yeah,
means a lot to you. Like,
yeah. Bay Area culture, like at the root of it, is like it's the most like unapologetically like raw like black city smashed up against a really white city. Like
yeah,
it's uncomfortable. It's so close, to where people almost have like a obliviousness of it, like the people who are black who are struggling are oblivious to the people who are not oblivious. We know it's happening, but like
yeah,
we're like we it's like it's right, it's happening in front of us. We can't do anything, so it's like almost not even there. And then there's like these white people who are in the middle of like a lot of violence and a lot of like struggle and a lot of like adversity who are oblivious. They just aren't, you know? And it's like
yeah.
so close. If you go to the Bay Area, it's a mind fuck because you'll see like it doesn't make any sense almost. But I feel like that movie showed like that especially that train scene where it was like you see on the train it's people trying to get home, it's white folks going to wherever they're going to, it's
Yeah.
niggas dancing, it's music playing, like
Yeah, bro.
it's a real like mesh of like different cultures. Um, and I feel like that scene it was just so like accurate of just how it feels.
Yeah, I can only imagine because I haven't been to the Bay Area yet. But it's weird because I almost like I felt a kind of like kinship with that too, because like like NJ Transit is almost exactly like that. Like
Yeah,
especially late at night, like
yeah,
it'll be like it'll be like 3 or 4 it'll be like a group of like 5 or 6 like really loud white girls going back to some like lily white suburb over
Yeah,
in the corner. It'll be some like New York Islanders or Rangers fans or like Jets
yeah,
fans or
yeah,
Yankee fans or
yeah,
whoever going to or from a game. And then it'll just be like some niggas in the corner just like coming home from work. Like
yeah,
it's just like a real cross section
yeah,
of humanity
yeah.
type shit.
It's real. Yeah, the Bay Area is real interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, and like like that really like and like Ryan Coogler, he's from the
hell,
Bay
he's a
Area, right?
goat. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ryan
like
Coogler is so like incredible, bro. Because the shit he's made and the shit he's done is so masterful, and he's so humble, and he's from the Bay, but I feel like it's so like it's very. I think Sway mentioned it like it's in the same vein. Like Ryan Coogler is the same kind of like this intelligent genius guy who's like really just kind of like you would never really know who the nigga is or what but he's so like you wouldn't even know he's from Oakland, but he's from
yeah,
there, and like I feel like there are so many people like him in Oakland who just don't get recognized because people only think Oakland is one type of thing.
right. Yeah, like I feel like y'all are a different breed because of that. Like it's a like growing up, I realized how many of my favorite artists and creatives were like from the Bay Area, and like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
special, just like that, just like that, just like the swag y'all bring is just I don't know. There's just
yeah.
something different about it. It
Yo,
just makes me
facts,
yeah,
bro. I feel like the
like,
Bay Area is so influential to so many cultures. People don't notice it. Like,
yeah,
yo, we have Kaylani, Ryan
yep,
Coogler,
yep,
Zendaya.
yep,
Like, these are industry like titans,
yeah.
like
Y'all
that
got
people don't
E40, bro. Like
E40. Like that nigga, all this Detroit flow shit where like the niggas is rapping off beat. That's literally E40, bro.
yeah,
Like all the
like
one liners and shit.
like bro, I remember like there was a period of time like I remember when my ghetto report card came out because I was in like high school when that was the period of time
Yeah.
when like like Tell Me When to Go came out like I knew at least 4 or 5 people who legitimately tried to ghost ride their whip. One person crashed their car. Like I'm like
Yeah, bro.
that shit hit us hard. I
Oakland
swear.
was doing
Like
bad shit, bro. Oakland, yo, I'm trying to tell like Oakland was like the real like don't front, like we really doing bad shit out here. Like not like like we really act the fuck up out here. Like niggas think like I feel like that they city like or our city get a rep because like we got a high murder rate, wherever the fuck. It's like, bro, like, yeah, but come to the Bay, bro. It's more than just like murder. Like niggas really don't give a fuck. Like
right.
niggas will ghost ride their whip. Niggas are just like niggas is just slide through the city. It's some shit called mobbing in Oakland. And
Yeah.
all it is you get in your car and you drive ignorant as fuck. And you play loud music. You cut niggas off in traffic, but you don't hit
Yeah.
nobody. That's the thing. Like if you bad at mobbing, you hitting shit, you touch. Like you a bad driver. You got to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
good driver to be mobbing because if you are bad, you like no niggas don't want to ride with you in the car. Niggas get off the street. Like
Yeah.
the purpose is to like look bad but be really good at what you're doing. You know, even like on
See.
bikes, niggas on like there's some shit called kissing where like niggas like ride the bike and then
Yeah.
like they do a wheelie and then they get really really close to like hitting something and they pivot and they like and like it's dangerous as fuck. I remember I was like in fucking middle school, bro, going home. I seen a nigga kiss a bus, bro, coming on like oncoming traffic. He like went head first to a bus and like kissed it. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like that takes fucking balls, bro.
That's different. Yeah, like we can't like East Coast, New York, New Jersey, tri-state area people, like we can't handle no shit like that. Like people just drive bad out here. Like there's
Yeah,
no
yeah. Ain't nobody like
like
mobbing. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to. Yeah. Oakland like that, bro. Oakland is really it's really like a lawless place. It's been a lawless place. I think like niggas kind of just like the past few years have realized like no, this has been when I was a little nigga. Oakland was like the same way.
Yo, I want to but before I forget, what was the other movie you said that wasn't
Oh, the French Dispatch.
it was the French Dispatch. Yeah, so real
Yeah,
quick, Also, I also love the French Dispatch. It's like I know there was a lot of people who weren't fucking with it. It actually might be
Yeah.
my favorite. It's definitely one of my recent favorite.
Yeah.
What like because like I got feelings about Wes Anderson sometimes,
I
but
know.
that one,
He be on some weird shit. But yeah.
yeah. But the visual style, like you can't really touch him on that. And like
Yeah.
like it was I had always wanted to see him pull off some like anthology shit, and this is basically an
Yeah.
anthology movie. And I
Yeah.
think the only one I didn't fuck with was the one with Timothy Chalamet, where he's like the student revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like
I
that
feel
one
like
was,
I feel like I feel like
but
he was in the movie because like niggas would go see a movie if he was in the movie.
yeah, for real, because like that was the time when they were really trying to like make him a star, and he's a star now. But
Yeah.
like that was like, look at
Yeah.
this little young, like they were like trying to put him on.
Yeah.
But like the first one with the artist in prison, Benicio del Toro and them,
Fire.
and then
Oh, that
the
was
one with
so
Jeffrey,
good.
the one with Jeffrey Wright,
Yeah.
like
That's how they got you because if niggas would have put that Timothy shit on first, niggas would have been walking out.
yeah, bro. I'm saying,
Yeah.
because like and like it was nice to see another nigga in a fucking Wes Anderson movie, because it had been a
Yeah.
minute since
Yeah.
because I mean like Jeffrey Wright he's been in a bunch of them now, but like up until then I think the only other one was Danny Glover. Danny Glover was in the Royal Tenenbaums.
See, yeah, that's the thing. Like he might be anti-black. He might be an anti-black cracker. It's fucked up, but the
Yeah,
movie is just fire.
yeah,
I feel like Apple is super anti-black. We got iPhones in this thing.
yeah. Easy 100. Yeah, no, like yeah, no, we're on some, like the Congo does not look kindly at us. Free them, by the way.
They hate our ass.
Like truly, like why am I laughing?
Two things can
I
be
should.
true. That's one thing I learned
Yeah.
about 2024. Two things can be true at the same motherfucking time.
Yeah, and we just got to deal, bro. Like
Yeah, bro.
we just gotta like learning how to deal with the fact that two things can be true is just like that's just the
Yeah,
reality of it's always been the reality, but it's like
yeah,
especially the reality now. But
yeah.
fucking like French Dispatch is great. I actually want that's another one I've been meaning to go back and rewatch because I saw it. I haven't seen it in like a couple years, but but
Yeah.
like it feels like it's time to just like go back and
Yeah, run that back.
and
I'm running back too. I feel like
yeah.
the first hour is so good because it's so like it really shows like how tortured artists be, like niggas who like torture themselves or like in this industry and you know business politics within art can torture somebody into making, which is like most of the time that's what they do. Like they really they strip people of things and they make you upset and they make you have to like really, like they never give you exactly what you want so that
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of like be upset and then make something incredible. And then like, oh, that was great. Let's do it again. Like they just like, that's kind of like, that's the basis of street rap,
Yeah,
honestly.
bro. Like
Yeah.
it like always has been, and just like
Yeah.
like navigating that dichotomy is what makes the shit so interesting for like like I know for
Yeah.
everybody generally, but for us, like
Yeah.
black folks specifically, it's
Yeah.
a
So I
yeah
think it's very similar to like the voyeurism shit with like just black trauma like music, like a lot
yeah
of like white people just love that shit because it's just so like they're not in it, they're just watching it happen. It's like, well, this
yeah
story is so interesting and there's nothing they can really do to like I guess soothe it other than like support it. But I feel like sometimes the mark is missed. People don't know what they're supporting. They're just kind of like supporting because it's cool and because it's
yeah
and not because of like like I keep pouring myself out and
right.
no one's really getting it.
Yeah, like it's a like to me it's a difference between like like somebody I love like Starlito. Like, you go like listen to
Hmm.
you go listen to Starlito, and his shit is like he's pouring his fucking heart out like on
Yeah,
everything. And like there's like like that's meant to like you're meant to be having a conversation with that music while you're listening to it type shit.
yeah,
But then you go and look at like like when like King Von and people were active, and like you go on
yeah,
like I think all the time about like there's a whole subreddit of people who like document Chicago gang shit like it's the fucking
Yeah,
Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like that's
yeah,
where I'm like, all right, like you're tripping, you need to stop this. Like this
yeah,
isn't your entertainment, bro. Like these are people's lives. Like
yeah.
like
No,
that
literally.
that shit pisses me off. Like to this day, like I think about it and I get mad. I hate it.
Yeah, I
You know?
feel like the movie like really it just paralleled so much of that, like just like knowing that this person is tortured and also like not as may not be as smart as you. So you know how to manipulate and get them to do what you want. And you promise
Right.
them these things and you say these things, but like in the end, it's not for that person, it's for you.
Yeah. And like, and you know, like as a writer and a journalist, like the French Dispatch is just like very
Oh yeah,
like
facts.
they made
Yeah.
it yeah, like
That
they
was the first like 20 minutes, right? It was the other guy. Yeah.
yeah, nah, he's like
Oh, what's up?
explaining like how, the
Yeah,
history of the publication. Like that's like
yeah.
they made that shit for me, you know, like it was like
No, it was great. It was a good story. It was really good. It was like they're like what I think that like the thesis was like they were closing, and this is like their final paper, and
yeah,
like that this is like all their last stories. But like
yeah,
it was dope because I love multiverse type
yeah,
things. I love multiple universes in one sitting. And I
yeah,
love
yeah,
like something that's kind of can be because he can do French Dispatch too. You know, he can kind of
yeah,
continue the story or French Dispatch. He can go back 10 years, 5 years. You can go. You know, I love stories that kind of like aren't just one thing where it's like kind of you're in the middle of a bunch of other things. I love that kind of shit.
yeah. That's yeah, like that's an anthology, you know, like that's like
Yeah. I
yeah,
love
no,
that
yeah,
kind
no,
of shit.
on some like on some I mean like this it isn't Black Mirror because Black Mirror is doing something entirely different, but like
Yeah.
yo, my fault, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to shout out the all new Real Notes Patreon page real quick. If you're looking for ways to connect and directly support the podcast, the Real Notes Patreon is the best way to do so. For as little as $5 a month, you can gain early day before access to every forthcoming episode of Real Notes, as well as an invite to the Real Notes Discord server, where you can talk to others about the latest and greatest in movies and music, come through for some listening sessions, and talk about whatever else is on your mind. I know I'm gonna be talking a bunch. If you feel like coming up off a little bit more, you could get cool exclusive content like audio from Real Notes Live and Real Talk interviews. Those will be exclusive to patrons and ticket holders moving forward. Access to retro versions of my 60-second Minute Maid movie reviews, and even a monthly writing and podcasting workshop hosted by me. Regular episodes will still be available on a weekly basis anywhere you get your podcasts, but if you want the extras, you gotta come out them pockets a bit. Check us out at patreon.com/realnotes. That's REELNOTES. I appreciate your consideration and support more than you know. Now let's get back to talking. Shit too, where it's just like everything kind of exists around a theme or like a general concept, and you can just kind of do
Yeah.
whatever you want
That's
within
kind of
those.
how I make albums, bro.
Yeah.
Like all my music is a straight anthology.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm so happy you said that, and I want to get into that in a little bit. But before
Yeah.
we do, I want to do something similar with music. I want to when did music when did music become capital M music for you? Like when did it go from being like a passive thing,
Oh,
you know, like not even in terms of you wanting
yeah.
to make it, but just in terms of you like fucking with music on your own terms?
I remember it was like I texted one of my friends in uh it's eighth grade. I texted him and I was a girl and I was like, yeah, like I love music a lot. I realized like yeah, I was like, yo, I love it like more than like a normal person. Like I really fuck with this shit. And I forget what she said, but like I remember just saying that, and I was like, damn, that's when I was like, man, I just like kind of went harder into like music, but I was definitely like, I was like passive. I would have download songs, and I wasn't into albums, and I didn't know how like that where I just was into like songs and shit. But once like I like left eighth grade and went to like ninth grade, it was like, all right, I really got into like music and albums and diving deep and like artists and like that was my shit.
Right. Who were like when you first started to really lock in, who were people that were super duper grabbing your attention? Because I remember when we were backstage in Boston,
Yeah,
like we were just like tossing songs back and forth. Like
yeah,
you were playing like old Ninth Wonder shit, and I showed
yeah,
y'all that Dinner Party album that they had done the
Yeah,
Boondocks theme on, and like it
yeah.
was
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
that freeze
Yeah,
tag song is crazy. Shout out to Felix. Sorry.
yeah. Shout out to bro. Yeah, I like I feel like of course Odd Future was my shit. I think then this being inside of that world, it showed me that music was like it didn't have to be like there was no rules to it, you know?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you can kind of just do what you wanted to do. And I think just seeing them do that on that level was just cool because it was like I feel like now that I am the artist that I am, I understand like the relationship between the listener and the artist way more. When I was younger, I was the listener and I was the person who kind of like was like, you know, taking in information and like really becoming obsessed with it and like just like being a fan, you know? And I think now being an artist who's like more established, it's like I really get like the dynamic, you know, how you interact, how would I want younger me to you know see me
Mm.
or interact with me or how would I you know, and I think that's like a special thing that I like, you know, just from that moment of liking music to like now is like special.
When did you first notice that you got to that point? Like when did you first notice that you kind of bled over from just being like from just coming at it from the
Mm,
perspective of a listener to coming,
I
yeah.
feel like this year. I feel
Wow.
like with all
Okay.
this shit, yeah, I feel like with all this shit happening this year, it kind of really put me in like a place of like, okay, like I am a listener, but like there are a lot of I have a lot of listeners, um, and I
Right.
think, but not to say before that I didn't think that, but I think this year I took it more seriously because it's like, okay, like there's a responsibility you have. Like people are listening, people are like clocking in to see, you know, so it's like
Yeah.
it's like it's like it's a good and a bad thing, you know. It's like all right, they listening, so it's a lot of pressure, but they're listening, so you might as well just like take advantage of that and like you know do your thing. Um, so
Yeah.
that's been pretty cool.
That shit is real as fuck too. Like I've been in the like I'm in a similar position
Yeah,
because I got this big ass project
yeah,
that I'm about to drop that I can't. I promise I'm gonna fill people in when it's time, but it's not time
yeah.
yet.
It's okay.
But you know, like I've been doing this for like 10 years and it feels
Wow.
now like I'm at the point where, you know, like I'm realizing now like shit, like people were really like people are I'm just grateful anybody cares, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
people could easily not give a shit about anything you have going on. And they
yeah.
just and you know like people do and you know like
They do.
you don't want to take people for granted. You don't want to lead
Exactly.
you don't want to lead people well like it's like you said you have a responsibility to
Yeah,
do what you can and just like
exactly.
make sure that you're just not wasting the opportunities being given to you. I don't know. I'm just rambling.
That's it.
But
That's
like
literally it. I feel like it's that responsibility is it's kind of it's a lot, but it's like I feel like to get over it being a lot and it being like overbearing is to realize like oh like you can do it now. Like this is your green light, you know?
yeah,
It's like, oh, you're right. I can okay, let me just go, you know, like once you just kind of like, step out of that like, oh, but it's scary. It's like, nah, but it's there, bro. Like you was waiting for this. It's like, oh no, fact, I'm finna shit on niggas.
right. It's real, bro. You know, like just like just knowing that you know you took all those steps to get here, and now
Yeah,
you can like and now you can like really now you can just
yeah,
like really show them what you can do, and
yeah,
that's why I was like I remember when I first heard Try Again and
yeah.
being like and being like it's kind of wild that like obviously you've been making music for years before that, but to have like
Yeah.
your kind of like it was a breakout on a smaller level, but
Uh-huh.
to have like your that was probably a lot of people's first exposure to you, and
A lot of people. Yeah.
to have it be called Try Again like
Yeah.
kind of made me laugh because it's like you just got it because it's like in a sense you just got here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like but like obviously like there was a lot of work that had gone into that, and you know like I went and did some digging just
Oh,
because you know
cool.
like that's what we're doing here, and like
Thanks.
you know like, yeah, so just like like listening to stuff like Shorty and listening to stuff like
Yeah,
Mobby's Concern and
yeah.
like Koala Corp, just
Oh
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
just like going through the backlogs of like all the stuff that you were making then, and like like kind of comparing it to everything you're making now, especially KAST Got Wings.
Yeah.
like like briefly walk me through that era of like the early stuff, and like what you and just like
Man,
kind of figuring out and like tinkering with your sound, and yeah, just like walk me through what was going on in your brain while you were formulating Ovrkast 1.0.
man, what was going on through my brain was like I didn't want to be working my job. I
Yeah.
was like, I would go to my job, listen to music all day, and go home and make music. And it was like, it was just so, it was like, you know how pressure makes diamonds? It's literally what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much, I hated working there, and it was so much like the job, it caused me so much mental and emotional and physical pressure on my body that like, yeah, that shit just came out. Like music just like was shooting out of me because it was like I had no other like outlet, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so once I left that job and I had spent like what 2.5, then or 3 years there, kind of just like what 6 no 2 years, 2 years there, just like in that mind state, I had like sharpened my tools enough to where like okay, like now that I have like a little bit more free time, I can go a little harder. And so I would like, write raps. At that point, I had bought a microphone, so I was recording raps. I hadn't had a studio yet, but then like that later that year, I finally got into a studio, and we were building. It was like it slowly like everything was coming together in a slow ass way. Like it was like my my process was just so long, bro. I just didn't have access to shit, and it just like it that's why I kind of made try again because it was like, yo, I feel like I've been trying like hard to kind of like pull myself out of like this like mud of like mental and emotional like weight. And like this is like my final like all right, I gotta pull out of this. And also like a lot of that music is like kind of like reminiscent of years prior when I was like really depressed and really almost suicidal and really like just not wanting to like be around, but like
Yeah.
just having days where it's like, all right, I gotta get up and like I have to get up. I have to go outside. I have to like snap out of this shit. Um, and I think Try Again is kind of that album. Like it's kind of like just like the culmination of just like me doing that so many times. That like it just came out in that way, you know.
Right. Like, yeah, and like like I said before, you have been working on this shit for years already, and
Yeah,
like it was a slow process, but you kind of built it all together and established a
yeah.
rhythm in that way. Like, what was your just because I'm curious, like what was that initial setup like? Like what was the what were you working with when like around that era?
Shit, bro. I had Try Again era. I had some little speakers. I had a desk. I had a Focusrite, my laptop, in my closet.
Mm,
Like that's all I had. I learned how to mix my vocals in there. I had my boy Demaji. He helped me with a lot of like, you know, recording takes for me, and we helped each other a lot through like a lot of our creative projects. Like I helped him a lot with his albums and like helping him make
right.
them, and he helped me a lot with my shit. Um, but like, yeah, it was just kind of like I was just to my devices, I was like every I don't know when I was like 20 year old at home, like not really knowing what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but it's not like I don't really know. I'm still like I think when you're 20 years old, you're still like 15,
Yeah.
16. So I don't really know. Like I know where I'm going, but it's kind of just like I have to just like blind faith, tunnel vision. And
Mhm.
of course, I had good reception. I had songs that were blowing up and shit, so I knew something was gonna happen. But I think Try Again was kind of just me, like, all right, like this is it, y'all. Like this is what I've been trying to do.
Right. And then like pretty shortly after. Actually, no, this was right beforehand. Like it's crazy because like El Toro Combo Meal happened right before Try Again
Yeah,
did.
perfect storm. Perfect
Yeah, like
storm.
so
Yeah.
like so like I don't know that I've ever heard you tell this story before, but like what was like how did El Toro Combo Meal happen? Like when did you make the
Man,
beat?
I
When did
made the
Tebe
beat. I made the beat. I made that. I made the loop like a long time, probably 2 months prior before I met Seen Tebe. He came to my studio and I played the loop. And I was like, I was so, in that mindset. I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it needs drums. And the drums I put were trash. I just put some dookie ass drums, and he didn't say shit. And I was like, oh, whatever. Next beat. And then I like went back to the loop, and I'm like, it's kind of better as like just a loop. So I just looped it for like 3 minutes or 2 minutes. I sent it to Earl, and he was like, I forget what he said. He was like, oh, like but I feel like Earl now versus Earl when I first met him, like Earl was like an esoteric ass, like he still is, but he's kind of more like, like he now. But I feel like back then, bro was like really like high, like you like didn't you could not read Earl for nothing, bro. Like, but this nigga's in my studio and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like I would text bro shit sometimes and say shit, but he also was in his own world. But I sent him the beat and he didn't really. I think he said it was dope, but like nothing came out of it. For like at least like 3 weeks, like a month. And I was like, I forgot I sent it to bro, and I sent it to Mavi, and then Mavi heard it and was like, "Oh, this is gas," and just gassed it immediately. And then he sent it to Earl, and Earl was like, "Wait, nigga, I also did some of this shit," and they both just stitched the songs together, and then it became one song.
Wow. Like
Yeah,
and yeah, like for that to happen like right before,
yeah,
like
bro.
once again, it's just like a whole bunch of steps to get
Facts,
to Try
bro.
Again. And like and then like that happens and then things start to move a little bit faster. But the thing, like I mentioned this like before we had met when I reviewed your when I reviewed Reset when it came out.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
like
facts.
like
That was you on Pitchfork, right?
that was me, yeah.
Gas, bro. Great review. Thank you.
Yeah, man, yeah, like no, like I said, like I had been watching the steps, and I was like, yeah, I like this felt like it felt like an important moment for you because like you look at a lot of songs on Try Again and like you're rapping and like you're putting your ankle in the beats, but I'm just like this is like really pensive and like you can tell that like he's talented, but there's like he's still building some confidence, like
Yeah, for
and
sure.
reset was the moment where it's like, okay, the confidence is here. Like he knows what he could do. Like like he's not
Yeah,
afraid to get bucked for a quick little minute. Like
yeah,
like the tone was just so different.
yeah,
And like especially since you took a 3-year break between projects, so like there was a
yeah, man. This
like
is crazy. I feel like a lot of niggas who put out projects that year took breaks did not come back from that because it was pandemic, and it was like pandemic was like,
right,
all right,
right,
you could niggas was dropping whatever in pandemic, but I feel like if
real.
if after that you didn't keep that steam going, it kind of just like died out. But I luckily was able to keep that shit going.
Yeah. So like what changed about you as an artist and as a person in the 3 years between Try Again and Reset that kind of led to that newfound confidence? Cause like I mean like once again, like you look at songs, like I compare stuff like Shut Up and To Be Honest to stuff like even to like 2 minute bars or
Yeah,
Face or like any of
yeah,
that shit,
whole
like
different.
it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like what was
I
happening in that block of time?
I feel like it was 2020. It was the year after COVID, and I think it like what was in the air at that time was like a lot of people were becoming really resilient and like really just going for it. Like people were just like doing whatever the fuck. I think because like a lot of niggas like we didn't die. Like
Yeah.
the next year,
Yeah.
the next year was like niggas was turned the fuck up. So I felt that, and I think I was like I just kind of like was so like you know what I'm gonna turn up too. Like I just kind of was like there's no reason not to. Like also I had a lot of free time on my hands. I think after that, like stuff happened, I had like a lot of free time. And I just kind of was like getting really into like practicing rapping more and practicing like just doing you know, my craft more. And I think it just came out that way. Like looking back, I'm like yeah, it's different, but also like to me it's not because it's kind of just like I know how I experience myself, you know. So it's like
Right.
I only have my perspective, but I know that like from other people's perspective, it's like, oh, this is not different. But it's like again, it's like I just learned and adapted more to just like what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think like I think the pandemic forced that out of everybody, you know, like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really on
Everybody
some
had
like
to grow up a little bit.
yeah, it was really on some like adapt or die type shit. Like
Yeah.
so like but you know, like I say that to say that I
Oh, also last
like
thing, I will
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
I think because Try Again had success, I was like, okay, fire, you know? Like I
Yeah.
think if Try Again didn't have success, the next album after would have been just as like, you know, like broody and shit. But because it like actually had success, I'm like, oh shit, like all right, let me like, you know, like get in my shit.
Yeah, and you know, like even you doing shit like seeing you recreate the red button beat
Oh
like from
yeah,
scratch in front of people in a crowd, like that was, you know, like seeing that, it's just like how could you front on that? You know, like
yeah,
it's like real because like most people like I've seen people do stuff like that before, but to just like see like the whole crowd was just locked in on you
yeah,
literally piecing a beat together,
yeah,
like that's like not everybody could just do that and have people
yeah,
like be locked in on it. And I mean like
exactly.
so like yeah, so like it's cool, you know, like it's kind of cool to see you grow into that position where it's like okay, like I can, you know, just like I got niggas spellbound just off of like me working the SP, like that's like
Yeah,
that's that's
yeah.
like truly a different type of energy, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've been tapping into that energy more. It was just like, you know, like shocking niggas. Like just showing like one of my homies told me like when I dropped Try Again, like and after he was like, "Yeah, you got slam dunk energy." It was like you don't like it ain't like it's like you got slam dunking every 2 seconds. Like a slam
Yeah,
dunk come every few, you know, I don't know, plays. It's
right,
rare. But when it happens, it's like super fucking like it's just, nigga just dunked on niggas, you know? And I was like,
right.
damn, like I feel like that's true to just this my discography because it's like I don't drop that much, but like most I have a high like rate of like you know all right most of this shit kind of like goes up because it's like even though it ain't that much, it's all like potent.
Right, you know, and like that matters because like there'll be people, you know, like there'll be people who will drop shit that's like cool, but
Yeah,
they'll do it like every 3 months, but like they'll do it like every 3 4 months,
yeah,
and like for somebody to take a break for like a year or two, but like but you know like there are also people who drop consistent quality like
facts.
heat
Yeah,
fire shit like every
uh-huh.
3 months, like you know like,
Yeah,
everyone's different obviously, but
facts.
you know like I think that's the reason why something like KAST Got Wings caught me off guard personally, because like
Yeah,
you know because you know like you know like hearing the more hyphy leaning stuff on here, like
yeah,
my first thought is like that's obviously super duper Bay Area Cali coded,
yeah,
but so is all the loop shit you do, because
facts.
all that stuff is like California beat scene shit. So it's
Yeah,
like so
100%.
like even though you're leaning into a different aspect of California, but
Yeah,
like it's not but like it's not like the stark binary between like, oh, it's like non-Cali shit versus
yeah,
Cali shit. Like it's
yeah.
all a
No, no,
part of the
no.
same
Yeah,
spectrum,
it's
you
in the
know, which
same
I
world.
love.
Yeah, and I think like man, it's funny. I feel like I'm like almost unlocking like a new like level of like music creation because it's like I can make a ton of those, you know. I can kind of
Right.
make and I can do them in different ways that aren't all the same, you know. Uh just like my knowledge of music and like samples and like just that instrument world, bringing that into the hyphy world is kind of like it's a whole different spin. Like, it kind of reminds me of how like sexy drill came about. You know, it's like
Right.
it's drill, but it's like chill, and the samples are crazy. It's like a perfect storm of just sound.
Yeah, and just like introducing the art of sampling to a whole new generation,
A
which like
whole new generation. Yeah,
I'm always about
facts.
that shit, you know, like and it's and like that's what makes this link up between like you and Cardo so special. Like and like once again, like you know, like I never would have thought I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, Cardo can do
Uh-huh.
pretty much anything he wants, but like,
Yo,
when did
if you heard the tape, it's crazy because there are beats that I made solely me, and there are beats that are solely him, but you can't even tell because
right?
some of the shits is like, oh, Carl made this, oh, Cass, it's really like that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me about when the two of y'all first linked and connected, and like when you decided that it was time to work on a full project with bro.
Shit, we met last week. It was still was crazy. We met before the Drake shit happened. Like we met and
Mm,
it was cool. It was cool before that shit happened. Then that shit happened. Then shit was piped up. He sent me a ton of shit. I started working on this shit. Um, so this project is like damn, like then like 6 months old. Well, not old, but like the idea is like 6 months old.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like he sent me a bunch of shit. I started getting to it, rapping to it. Um, he would call me, text me. We kicked it one time in person, made some shit. Um, it was just like Cardo was just so like bro, Cardo is doing a lot of shit right now, like as we speak,
Yeah.
and he's been doing shit since before, like a long time before. So Cardo is like a generational producer. So it's just fire to work with, bro. And also it's just like I think coming into the project, I didn't really understand what I was like getting myself into. But like again, I feel like it's one of those things where like doing this project felt very much like having like a sword in the middle of the forest or like the jungle. And I'm just cutting through leaves. I'm like, all right, like let's see like what can I find in this rhythm, and how can I attack this, and how can I how can I approach this in a way that like makes sense but also is super potent.
So do you remember the first time that everything kind of snapped into place when making this?
I think I think when I shit shit, Pay Me a Grip was like the first one we made,
Yeah.
and then uh I think I made Pay Me a Grip, and then I made Bipper's Joint, and I was like, okay, like that's like a good like those are two very different places, but it's a good like that's a good like far point to put shit in the middle of, or like
Yeah.
that was a good like net to have, and I think from then I kind of like was just going in.
Man, like, and it's crazy because I feel like, or not, I feel like Pay Me a Grip and Bipper's Joint are like, they couldn't be more different sonically,
Facts,
like
yeah,
like that really is like the far end of the spectrum. Like,
yeah,
so who made Bipper's Joint?
that
Was it
was
you or
me.
him?
That was
Okay.
me. I made that. I made so
Okay.
I made up.
Okay.
Well, I made okay. Yeah, I made up. I made cut up, and I made Bibber's joint. Those three ones
Okay.
I made. He made the rest of those joints, which is crazy because like you would
Yeah.
not. Some of those you would. There's like two you expect, but then the rest of them was like, yo, what the fuck? Like he made these shits. Which I love that shit.
Yeah.
He has so many different styles, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like you go back and look at all the stuff Cardo's done. I remember when the first Baby Keem project dropped.
Yeah,
The one with him on the swing with the gray
yeah.
cover. Like
Uh
that was when I first heard that, and I was like yelling at people like, you need to check for Baby Keem. He's gonna be a
huh.
star. And then of
Yeah,
course like Die for My Bitch happened, and
he was gone. Yeah,
like but
great
like
album by the
Cardo
way.
had, yeah, so crazy. Like Cardo had so many slappers on that album. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so he can do that. Like him and Larry June have like fucking 2 million projects together. Like
Facts. Styles,
he
bro.
he can work with
Yeah.
everybody. So
But
it was
it's crazy that he hopped in his hip hop bag for this one. Cause
yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is insane.
Yeah, because I can't think of many examples of him like touching this type of style, and it's
Not
cool to
ever.
see him.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's cool to see him really do it, and to
yeah,
feel, like like it's just cool to see people find a new pocket and find a new rhythm
yeah,
and like be successful at it. Obviously, there's going to be some times where like it's not going to work, or it's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, maybe I can't do this, but like this felt
yeah,
natural, and it's like the two of y'all really working
yeah.
together on it in unison, and it feels right, you know.
He even sent me like some Griselda sound and shit. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Swear to God, bro. I was like, this nigga on some crazy shit, but it's dope. Yeah.
Wow. Like, so you said the idea of this project is 6 months old.
Yeah, KAST GOT WINGS, the idea like is old. It was supposed to be like two songs, like just two, but then
Mhm.
it kind of just morphed into a whole idea, which is like naturally that's what I end up doing all my shit. But yeah,
Right. And you said, and yeah, you said before that your whole discography, you kind of consider it to be like an anthology of just,
anthology. Yeah,
just like of what you do. So like,
yeah,
like even so I mean like com- considering the timeline from like Koala Core to everything in between that to try again to
yeah.
reset to this, like what do you know like we well actually we could even just keep it to try again, reset in this,
Uh-huh.
like what like what would each of those three projects represent for you in terms of like where it would be in an anthology, like the Ovrkast
Mm.
anthology, like what do each of those projects represent for you?
I mean like personally,
Yeah.
I would say like try again is definitely like I feel like like the what's the word like Padawan, like the amateur, or like the like he has skills but he doesn't know how to use them. He
Yeah.
doesn't know like how to wield these skills, but he only has them. I think try again. I'm sorry. I think reset was like, all right, I have these skills, and this is how well I can use them. Like I know how to use them pretty well now. And then I think KAST GOT WINGS is kind of just like a diversion. It's kind of like a spinoff, real quick. It's like I'm kind of spinning off and going into like a like it's almost like bonus round, you know? Like it's like, all right, like you good at what you do. Let's see how good you is on some other shit. Let's see how like
Yeah.
how you can let's see like how like if you can because it's okay to be good on your beats. Like it's okay for me to craft my own sound and be good, but like this was more like, all right, how good are you on some other shit? Like what can you really like show and do outside of just making beats and like you rap? Like that's what I took this as. It's kind of like a showcase of like how different it can how far left can it go? Like
Right.
how left can you pull this thing and then, before you kind of do like a debut and like show niggas like, all right, now here's everything, you know. One thing
Right.
I wouldn't want is to have a debut album and then it be like the same shit I was doing the last 2 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Cause like, like this, like, like not to be too hyperbolic or gas it too much, but like
yeah,
this does kind of feel like practicing for like the all-star game, and like
yeah, yeah,
and like in the sense that like the next project might be kind of like the encapsulation of like I can do all of this stuff. Like that's
literally.
to me, that's gonna be the all-star game,
Yeah,
you know?
and that's the goal.
Like
That's the goal. This is like a layup. Like this is like, all right, like
yeah,
we toss the ball up. And like your next efforts are like, all right, like this is what I was trying to show y'all, like that we can like do everything out here. We can give niggas insane beats, we can give niggas insane raps, we can give niggas energy, we can make
right.
niggas cry, we
Yeah.
want to give it all. So that's the goal.
Hell yeah. And yeah, like there's quite a bit more I want to talk about KAST GOT WINGS, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
save that for when you and I
Oh
talk at your
yeah.
release party
Oh
in
yeah.
Brooklyn on October 17th at
That's gonna
3XL
be
Studio.
fire, bro.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be so crazy. Pull up, like anybody listening. I'm gonna do an ad at the beginning too, but like anybody listening who's in the New York area, KAST and I are gonna be at 3XL Studios. We're having a KAST GOT WINGS release party. Shout out to
Hmm.
three. Shout shout out to shout out to 3XL. Shout out to
Facts.
Dara.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Dara.
everybody who helped. Yeah, like so shout out to everybody who helped put it together. It'll
Yeah.
be free. Pull up. But anyway,
All right, man.
one
Oh,
one
go ahead.
oh no, my fault. We're almost done. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I've never dropped an ad in a thing like that before, so it just
Oh
made me laugh.
no, run
But
it up.
but fucking so you've been wearing
Oh
like
yeah,
literally,
my hoodie.
yeah, literally every time I've seen you, you've had this fucking hoodie on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's got streaming payout numbers on it. I feel like at this point I feel like the general public knows that artists make dirt off every streaming platform, like even even the best ones, you know.
Yeah.
But like you felt so compelled by that information to make a fucking hoodie and like wear it and like have every time I see you, somebody's like, oh, you made like, oh, where can I get that? Like, talk to
Yeah.
me. What compelled you to put that on a hoodie and like
Really, what it was
have it?
pay me a grip. I think that song coming out and it being
Yeah,
so left field from my other music, I was like, I was kind of just like, all right, like pay me a grip. Like I feel like for me, again like anthology type person. So I never am gonna give one message in a song or one
yeah,
message in like a project. It's gonna be a bunch of different messages. So in Pay Me a Grip, there's like 4 messages in that song. I think the first one is kind of just like, yo, like pay me a grip because like one, this artist, if you're an artist, bro, like well, pay me a grip is more me screaming at like a higher entity, you know, whether it be a major label who wants to sign me or a company that wants to do work with me. Like, yo, pay me a bag because niggas deserve that shit.
yeah,
And two, it was kind of like a champion the artist, you know, like yo, like pay, you know, like pay for this shit. I think
yeah.
there was a line I put in a different song where I said, shit, I said, just pay the fee. We ain't breaking even, not now.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you might as well just pay it because we ain't breaking even yet. Like once we get there, maybe some free get free shit. But and like the third message was kind of like um, I feel like in every song I kind of do like this thing where like I look at the listener for a second and I look away. Like I feel like
Yeah.
most of my music is like I say something like real like personal and I don't want niggas. I feel like sometimes the songs if it's too personal niggas don't want to hear that shit. Niggas is kind of
Yeah.
just like, all right, bro, you know, which makes sense. But I feel like there's an art to like talking and looking and then looking away. And I kind of just like there was a line in Pay Me a Drink where I said uh not lying. I've been on my radio and shit. By the time I get on my panty shit, um, and then I said, on the second, on the second, second verse, I said, "Don't worry, we out of time. Understand? I'm sharing free Palestine." Bro had came and
Mm-hmm.
went. Bro had came and went. He had dollar sign. What a shame. I'm taking this shot of mine. So it's like it's more like I know what I'm doing. Like I know that like this is music is money and like you know like this is what we're in but I know that like a lot of niggas who come in don't know that they're a dollar sign, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like they think that like yeah like no I'm like no like you are you but you're more of a dollar sign than you are who you are. And I think that like artists who don't know who they are come in and work and do music for money and get played happens often. So that was kind of me like just like you know like being very like I know what's going on, you know, to the fans, to the execs, to the whoever. Like
Right.
that was very much like a I was kind of just pointing out, and I think the hoodie kind of like was the biggest signal of that. Like it was like yo, like I really know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. I know what's going on so much. I'm gonna put this shit on a hoodie and show niggas and like yo, pay me
Yeah.
a grip because look at like the reality of like what we getting paid.
Right. Like and like that shit is so important and like not even just in like a music industry or like financial literacy sense, but just
Yeah,
like cause like you're just like, you know, like you're like, hey, I'm about to say this. I love you, mom. Knowledge is power. Like that's what my mother always used to tell me when I was coming up on some Schoolhouse Rock shit. Like knowledge is
yeah,
power. Like you give people, you know, you give people like because like there are more like industry savvy people or whatever than ever
yeah,
at any point in history, or
yeah,
people who think they are. Like there are
yeah.
plenty of people who think they're savvy and don't know shit.
Facts.
But to have somebody like you on the come up, like being so honest about like, hey, I understand like the role I play in this, but that needs to change in some way. You know, like
Yeah,
it's you know, like it's not only about making sure that you and your people are straight, but like being able to empower somebody coming up behind you because like you said, people are listening, you know, like that's
yeah,
Like, you know, like it's just like this. It's never a bad time to pay it forward when it comes to shit like that. And like that's like it was just cool to me to see it. And I just respect the hustle. Like literally,
Thank you,
like the
man.
last 3 or 4 times I saw you, I'm like, you still wearing that shit, huh? Like, so
Also, that shit dumb comfy, bro.
yeah, I'm sure. Like it looks it. So you know,
I
like
got it right here. That shit's OD comfy, bro.
that's hilarious. It makes perfect sense. Like I get it, you know. Like like I'll definitely stay in a hoodie, especially like now. Like I'll stay in a hoodie
bro.
for as long as it's, you know, like until it's time to wash it, obviously. But like, you know,
Facts,
like
yeah,
it's like, but yeah, like
No, I
that's
be
just
wearing also that hoodie. Like the more you wear it, the more better it looks. It has that ashy vintage look to it.
right. Yeah, like that, and it settles on your body, different, all
It
that, you
settles in
know,
your
like
body,
that,
all that stuff, all that stuff. Yeah.
all it.
They
But
coming
like,
though. They definitely gonna. When they come, they gonna hotcakes. Them is gonna be gone.
come on,
Yeah,
yeah, nah. Save me one in a double XL, bro. I need
I got you, bro.
it. But damn, like once again, not once again, I feel like this could go on for like another 3 or 4 hours. This has been great.
Facts.
But
Yeah.
shit. But Silas, Ovrkast, if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
Oh shit. If my life was a movie, what would it be about? A nigga who grew up in a dangerous place, started making music, and then luckily it worked out because of his endurance, and now he has to fulfill the prophecy that he wants, that he speaks about. So I think that's kind of what I'm on.
Right. Yeah, nah, like this is I don't this feels so dumb. I just thought about the end of Black Panther where they build the Wakanda Outreach Center and like the
Yeah,
little kid, like
yeah.
the little kid in Oakland who's like, "Oh, what's that?" Like I just thought, never mind. I'm not
No,
gonna
no, you good. That's what it feel like. I gotta bridge the gap. So that's what it feels like. It's a lot
yeah.
of weight to bear. A lot of weight to carry. But it's like I think it's one of those things where like I forget what someone said. There's a quote I saw where it was like you can't uh fuck, what was the quote? Something along the lines of like you can't be mad that like you have a lot going on when you prayed for what you
Yeah.
know. You can't be mad that all this shit happening when this is what you wanted, bro. So that's why, like, I'm at this point, I'm kind of like, all right, let me assume the position.
Felt. And yeah, like you're at and like you are at that point now where you are like you're a nexus point between a lot of different things, like between people, like, you know, like you're just a nexus point between different generations of rap listener. Like I'm noticing
That's
like
so true, bro. Go
yeah,
ahead.
like just like like between the people you work with and like the people I know who are older than me who are like
Yeah,
hip to you now, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
bro.
you know, like they're finally seeing what like us and everybody like in
Yeah,
our corner been seeing.
yeah,
So you
facts.
know, like
It's
you're
also that thing of like, bro, like I I I was talking to Eric, the young guy, about people who follow me on Instagram,
shout out to
and
Eric,
it's
man. I love that
facts.
boy.
Shout out to him. And yo, Mike, people who follow like the range of niggas who follow me is so huge. Like it go from like the most like turned up crazy nigga to the most holistic nigga you ever met. Then it's like some random like artist. Like it's so many like I know so many people in different areas of shit. It's kind of like crazy.
Yeah, and like not everybody can move in between those circles. I mean, like once like everyone's different. Like, don't judge
Yeah,
a book by
facts.
its cover, all that shit. But like it's so difficult for somebody to be able to. I don't want to say cater because I don't think you're
Yeah,
specifically trying to cater to people. But like
yeah.
it's not
I
easy.
put that in the song. I said, "Don't
Yeah.
mistake it as catering, bitch."
We're on the same wavelength. It's like,
Yeah,
but you know, like this is just who you are, and like not everybody is that. Not everybody can move between those different circles of music or different circles of people and be comfortable. And like
yeah,
you do that, and you make the shit look easy. Like you can, like you can. Like you can appeal to people like Cardo. You can appeal to people
yeah,
like Rob Markman. You can appeal
yeah,
to people like whoever, you know, like
Yeah, that's a mix.
yeah,
No name. Hey, I'm trying to
yeah.
get no name on this next project, bro.
Come
Like
on, man.
bad. But I gotta just go to LA and lock in. But I feel like
Right.
it'll happen. But like, yo, yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. I feel like that's what I want to show. For my magnum opus, I want to show like, yo, like, nigga, we doing everything in this motherfucker. It's a
Yeah.
party in this.
Holistic, son. Like that's the you know, like that's like the real true shit. And like thank you, bro. Thank you for taking the time to show me
Thank
all
you.
that. And yeah, no, like, and yeah, like thank you for the trust. Like I appreciate you. I don't know. I appreciate you wanting to do this, and
Of course, man.
just like once again seeing the growth and seeing like what you stand for and how you do it, and like the crowd, like it just like the crowd you cultivate, and like watching people just like come up to you and like talk about you know, like you're at that point
Mm-hmm.
where like people got stories, like people stop
Oh,
you and talk to
yo.
you for like 2 minutes. Like that shit
Bro,
is
man,
beautiful, man.
it be niggas who like be like, bro, I was playing your shit when I was in high school. I'm like, damn, what? Like, that's no. I was bumping your shit when I'm like, man, this is what being a rapper is. This is crazy. This
Yeah,
is
like
wild.
like that shit is, you know, like you put in the work and you're here now, and I
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
playing the smallest role I can in helping
Oh
to
man,
bring
thank
that
you, bro.
story, you know, like
Thank you. We got more coming too, bro. I got more projects. I'm not letting up. It ain't about to be one of those. See y'all
yeah.
in 2 years. I'm gonna come right back.
Yeah, now let's go. You know, like you can handle that. We can handle that. We're ready. You
Thank you.
know? Yeah, no, you already know. Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.